Okay, everyone. So let's continue on with our numerology exploration. And we're starting with the number two. Okay, so starting with thinking about a baby. So once the baby leaves the year one and the baby goes into year two, we call that a lot of times in the United States the terrible twos because the baby becomes more expressive. The baby is seeking out things and expressing its displeasure, right? So the baby's having interactions with people, and the relationships with those people tend to be a little bit more for the baby, but the baby is not holding back, right? So this is where the baby is setting boundaries within relationships. So when you have a two energy, a two is partnerships, relationships, normally cooperating. I do this for you, you do this for me, working together in a symbiotic relationship. However, you get the other side of the two where you have the person who's like, yeah, we're working together for my benefit, right? I need you to go get this milk and get it now, right? I got a little bit of ego. I need to. I don't like that I need to, but since I need to, I'm going to make it difficult for you. So the two energy is all about the partnerships that we form and how we interact within those partnerships. Of course, in astrology, it's your second house, which is this communication area. So how we're communicating with people, does it come across as a peacemaker, as a person who wants to do things that both of us win-win situation, or does it come across as someone who is literally just like, we're going to form this partnership. I'm going to get 90%, you're going to get 10, right? Now, most of the time in the higher vibration, the two eventually goes through those 19 and becomes 20. 20 has the zero behind it. And what happens in our 20s? In the 20s, we go out with friends, we have a good time. We're like going to college or to school or starting a career. We're working with other people. We're dealing with people outside of the home. So we're forming more partnerships, more relationships, and exploring those connections. So, two energies always bring a duality of partnerships, exploring and learning and growing. What is it that I can take away from this that's beneficial to my life? What do I need to leave behind when it comes to this relationship? Two is also the number of and business partnerships. If I don't have this skill, does somebody else have this skill? But the downside to that is the two can also be way too clingy. With babies, what do you say when the baby only would go to the mama, only would go to the dad, screams bloody murder in the middle of the store, and you're like, oh my God, it's a terrible twos. You can't, they sometiming, duality, there's sometiming, their energy changes, their energy's up and down. So in our 20s, normally relationships change. You cut away people, you cut away sometimes people from elementary school, sometimes people from high school. Some relationships get stronger because you've discovered more about yourself and you have boundaries, hopefully, at the higher vibration. And so all of the two energy brings you to that point of establishing a foundation in the relationships and being able to hopefully communicate your truth. Okay. So when you're looking at twos, that's normally now, and we're going to get into a lesson about why certain relationships work and some relationships don't work. Think about it in this term. If I'm a person who is a one, who I like kind of being in control and kind of having someone who can help me when I need the help, who would I want on my team? A two, the two energy wants a partnership. Oftentimes, the two energy doesn't want to have to be the leader. They want to work together. So that's why a one and a two energy kind of could go well if they both want the same things, right? If one person is not if a one is just looking for a partner to be a boss and make certain changes, then they would need a different energy than a two. The twos may be more complacent, right? The two might be like, whatever you want. Okay. So partnerships, relationships, cooperating, higher vibration, peace and love, baby. Those type vibes come with a two. If I'm a one and I want somebody like that, yeah, I'm gonna go for a two. If I'm a two and I don't want to have to make all the decisions, I want somebody to make the decisions. I want us to work together. I'm gonna look for a one. I'm gonna look for, that is the part of numerology that I think is great for relationships. Depending on what you're seeking as to which number you should be looking for and in the attitude area and your destiny number. Okay. So that's two. Let's go on with number three, shall we?